Brian McKnight is doing is not unique at all. The tragic death of his son Nico has re-exposed the public to the knowledge he is estranged from his black children. There's no other way to put it. And instead, for years, has been playing happy stepdad to his new wife's children. But I feel like people still aren't getting the point. A lot of black women will say, oh my God, they castigate black women for being baby mamas, and then they'll go right out and they'll get with a white woman who has children. I'm here to tell you the children are the point. Men like Brian McKnight want proximity to whiteness. And I'll prove it to you. Remember when Seal married Heidi Klum when she was 7 months pregnant by another man? And he went on to become a doting stepfather to that little bundle of joy. At the height of his fame, Lionel Richie adopted Nicole. Michael Jackson named these three, Michael Jackson Jr., Paris, and Prince II, as his children. Biologically, this is less than likely. But it's not just the celebrities who do this. Ordinary black men have gone viral several times for adopting white children, like this man here who adopted 3 in the U.S. And these aren't siblings, by the way. He adopted them each individually years apart. What's the point? Well, the issue is a cocktail of self-hatred, a desire to appear non-threatening, and proximity to privilege. Let's work backwards because the proximity to privilege is the easiest thing to see. So years ago, when Peter first adopted Anthony, he went viral. See the age difference? He was just a little boy. And all these articles came out. Oh, I'm a black father with white kids. I've been accused of kidnapping them. Same one in the BBC. Man adopts white boy, abandoned at hospital, and shows, true Christian love and all that. It seems great in theory, but why would Peter do all these news interviews talking about the horrible realities of transracial adoption and all the struggles he goes through with people accusing him of kidnapping his son and saying that they don't match and whatever? Why would he then do it twice more? At the very least, adopting a black child would cut down on instances of these kinds of problems, because he talked about how when he goes out in public, he has to have the adoption papers on him and what a hassle it is. I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. He wants the hassle. He wants to have to explain to people, this is my son. I adopted him. Because if people see a black man and a black child, they're going to assume that's his biological child, and he's not going to get any recognition or extraordinary praise for what he's doing. He compares himself to Angelina Jolie and Madonna and the people who've adopted African children. He says it's considered natural for them, a noble cause, while a black man adopting white kids is seen as going against the system. That says it all right there. He hopes to change the narrative of what adoptive parents look like. I was going to say, and I don't speak to criticize, but I do a bit, because black children are so overrepresented in the system and rarely get adopted, especially the older ones. And then he just tells story after story like this. He was at Costco. The kids wanted food samples. The lady said, oh, get your dad or parent. And they're like, he's right here. And, she was surprised. I asked her, if I was white, would you have said the same thing? No, because I see white families with black kids every day. You see the mentality. It reminds me of that passage in Brothers and Sisters where the black bank vice president says he doesn't want to marry a black woman because that kind of union would never elicit envy. Like, people are going to smile at them, say, oh, black love, and move on. He wants the trophy white blonde woman who is going to make the white men in his mind envy him. The Brian McKnights of the world do have that mentality, but not just for themselves, for their next generation. It used to be the demographic celebrities like Dr. Dre would have 2 sets of children. The darker, unambiguous ones they had before they were famous or at the early part of their career, and the more ambiguous ones they had after they became famous, and they would spoil, nurture, and pour into the ones that matched their preference. So it was a big thing on social media a while back. He gave $70 million to USC, and his daughter got in, this ambiguous daughter. Simultaneously, it then comes to light that his eldest unambiguous daughter was homeless, living out of her car with her children. He gave $70 million to get the other one into school. He couldn't even toss, a few grand, buy a house, something for his eldest daughter. But again, it's all about imagery, proximity to whiteness. He gives all this money to the school. He wants to rebrand as a philanthropist. And that's his wife there in the middle that he's pictured with. So he wants a certain kind of wife and a certain complected offspring to carry his legacy into the future. Jamie Foxx is another example. We certainly know he has more than one daughter, but who's the one who he's doing projects with, getting pictured on the red carpet with, etc., etc. The one who matches a certain aesthetic. Last one, Kevin Hart, perfect example of that huge divide. Before he was famous, married an unambiguous black woman, had these 2 chocolate children. He got his glow up, married his rib, Iniko, I think her name is. And look at how he tried to change the imagery of his children. He created this family video game back when he still had 2 children. Now I believe he has 4. It's supposed to be his wife and his 2 original children. You spot the difference? Clearly it's a fantasy world. He's taller than his wife, which he's not. These children are light complected like his wife. They're not. But these men want to erase their image out of self-hatred. And they used to do all the steps. They used to actually reproduce children with a white, non-black, or partially black women to try and get the children the image that they wanted. But now they're not taking all those steps. Brian McKnight and those like him are going for the gusto right out the gate. Rather than erasing the blackness from their bloodline over several generations, they take the easy way, the quickest way. And they will either play stepdad, as the case may be, or adopt fully white children. And the trend has become so pronounced, you can even see it in media going back quite a few years. Remember Wayne Brady's character and How I Met Your Mother had this man as his partner, and these are his 2 fully white adopted children. Samuel Jackson plays the father of Ryan Reynolds in The Hitman's Bodyguard. Keith David plays Elliot's adopted father in the reboot of Leverage Redemption. In season 2 of Why Women Kill, this pregnant woman has fallen on hard times. This black man comes to her rescue and says he loves her and wants to raise her baby with another man as his own. And that's just what they do. By the way, this is set in 1949. I was thinking about all this because a while back I wanted to do something on why I kept seeing all these TV series and movies that had black men with fully white children. I wanted to speak to the social import of that. At first, it felt like a way to have diversity without miscegenation. You know, your bloodline's not going to be tainted. Oh, kind of like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. All the diversity, none of the contact. But the thing is, it's not just on TV anymore. It's not just in media. We're seeing it way more in real life. And it's about a desire to cross over and appear non-threatening and to get that proximity to whiteness that's going to get you some privilege. Everybody knows black men have a terrible international image. Whether or not they earn that is a discussion for another day. But this is a way to stand out for ordinary things. They are typecast as absent fathers. One thing about the Brian McKnight controversy, it's going to stick in your mind. It's going to stand out to you because he was so openly an exemplary father to these other children he's not biologically related to, while ignoring and shunning his own. And while it has had financial repercussions because black people canceled him, I'm very glad we got on one accord about that. In the end, it doesn't matter to him because it wasn't our approval he was seeking. He actually said years ago he couldn't be bothered with his older sons because they were conceived in sin. That doesn't even make sense because if you're going by that standard, it's sinful for you to be with a woman who's divorced, isn't it? But I think people mistook his meaning. Their sin was looking like him. I mean, they could be twins. He looks like he spat Nico out. A lot of people don't realize all of this anger and whatnot these men direct towards their children. It's really just self-hatred. These men don't have to look at themselves. I mean, unless you're in the mirror or whatever, and that's only a few minutes a day, they don't have to really see themselves. So if they surround themselves with what they want, which would be the opposite of their mirror image, they can pretend that they've made it. So they come up with some excuse, any excuse, to cut off their black children and black family, immerse themselves in a different world, because they want some drops of the white or non-black privilege to fall on them. They want their child to lead the way when they go somewhere in public. They want the societal approval they think is going to come from being an exemplary father to that non-black child. And they know it's going to make them stand out because, again, black men have been typecast as absent fathers. So somebody now examines, well, why are you with this white child? Then they're going to pat you on the shoulder and then, oh, you're such a good man. Oh, you married a woman who was pregnant by another man or who got abandoned by another man? You adopted this child? Oh, my God. More men should be like you. You're just so amazing. You are super Negro. And that's what they're in it for. They want to hear, you're a good one. You're not like the other ones. and by virtue of their connection to that white child to get some honorary white status. They're depending on that next generation to take them further. And I mean, it's not a bad gamble. I'm Black. I would have known who Lionel Richie is regardless. But I mean, look at his two daughters, Nicole and Sophia Richie. How much has that connected him to this current generation and the succeeding generations? And these aren't isolated cases. Look at Quincy Jones's children. Stop there, because if we name names, we'll be here all day. It's a very intentional dynamic. So let me know what you all think. Like and follow for more.